Hey there, Lisa. Thanks for opting into the video critique for this week. Um, I have just pulled up your design and had a chance to look over it, and I think you're off to a good start on a few things. I think we need to work on your type. I can tell you're using some of the default fonts. I can't remember the name of this one, but I do see it a lot. Um, and then I feel like your type size is very large. I want you to take a look at like the examples here in the, I'm going to make these big in the assignment, okay? See the contrast between the amount of, first of all, notice the amount of white space on the page. Look at these columns. See how they're nice and tidy. They're actually pretty narrow. And then you have really large margins. You have a good amount of white space between where the columns end and the edge of the pages. Then you have images that are really large, pull quotes that are really large, and a heading that's really large as well. Okay, but the size of the font is actually very small, probably a lot smaller than you would think it is. Okay, so here's another good example. This font is a little bit larger, but it's still big or small enough, I should say, that these columns are getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 words across up here. Okay, so quite a few words across. Now, if we compare that to some of yours, it feels like maybe this one has 5 words or so. Some of them down here, there's not really um, there's not really a lot of content when you read left to right. Like this one is only a few words. So I think one of the things I would encourage you to do right off the bat is to decrease your font size by one or at least, or maybe even two. And then I'm having a little bit of a hard time feeling the overall effect because I do see your guides and they're kind of jumping out to me. But I would make sure to go through and to eliminate any of the black strokes that you have on anything. That's going to trap your eye here in this shape. And instead, you want your eye to flow off the page. You also want to never have an element end right before the edge of the page. You want to make this a full bleed. So instead of having this end here, you're going to take this color and just make that shape go all the way off the page. Smooth, nice line. Think of your eye flowing from element to element as opposed to getting trapped in any given area. Okay, you did a almost full bleed up here. It's on the right hand side, but I would make it full bleed off the top and off the side as well. Okay, you have contrasting typefaces. This type is actually a little bit hard to read, like the DESIRE. It's a little bit too close together. I don't know if you've changed anything on that or if that's just how it looks, but I would probably encourage you to go to a site like this is Google Fonts, and I just selected handwriting, and I'll show you how to download this one, for example. So we click add this, and you're going to get a little pop-up down here. You can select this download button here, and then you're going to save file, click OK. All right, then I'm going up to my little downloads button here. I'm going to right click and go to open containing folder. Okay, I'm going to double click on this fonts.zip, double click, and yours might just say the name of the title because I had already downloaded this one earlier. Downsing script, double click that, double click on the TTF file and click install. Okay, and then that's going to install these fonts onto, and that was bold, this is regular. Okay, so that's going to install these fonts automatically into my InDesign and all my Adobe programs. Okay, so I would encourage you to do that because I can tell the ones you're using are probably ones that have already been in your program, and this one especially is very, very dated. So I would encourage you to switch that out. Then think about contrast within your heading. Okay, so look at this title. See how you have really large white contrasted with this is a sans serif contrasted with a serif. Yellow, smaller, contrasted with a blue back to the sans serif. This one, brighter, brighter, These are both serifs. Until the Perfect Day, smaller sans serif. Okay, so applying that to yours, you could do something like becoming provident providers. Maybe becoming provident providers is a nice script like this one, and then temporally and spiritually is a sans serif that's underneath it, all in one nice line, but a different color. And then you want his name to be a little bit closer so it feels following that rule of proximity, like he's the one who gave that talk. Okay, see how close these are together? That's kind of what you want to mirror in your design. Okay, see this kind of relationship, how close that is to the title. That's what we want to have a little bit more of here. Okay, I would keep on working on a color scheme too. I feel like this deep dark red maybe doesn't go with the kind of more faded orange and yellow the background. Also, I'm assuming these are just placeholder images. You obviously need to have your own images, 2 of those. And I would always encourage you to get rid of a black stroke anywhere, but this is one area that you could take advantage of that. Get rid of this black stroke. Just let the image speak for itself, okay? Look at this nice big circular image with the white space around it, and it's just kind of telling its own story. Your eye flows off of the page, doesn't get trapped by a black circle, okay? So those are some of the things that are going to help you out with the design. First of all, adding a little bit more white space around your type and around your body copy. Then decreasing the size of your columns so all these words aren't yelling at you. You kind of want the body copy to fade to the background. You want your images to be the most powerful component of your design. You want those to be what take up the most amount of space, okay? Then you want to have a nice tight color scheme. You want your eye to roam, not to get trapped with any black strokes around any of the designs. Okay, and then finally just tightening up your typefaces. Usually for beginners, I encourage only 2 typefaces. If you feel really confident, you can probably use 3. Okay, so hopefully that helps you out. If you want to send me a second draft by email so I can take a look at it, feel free to do so. Okay, thanks, Lisa.